We are glad to welcome you to our channel. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share our videos with your friends and relations. And click on the bell icon for instant notification whenever new videos are uploaded on this channel. Rest assured that we are going to have a very exciting and inspiring discussion. Let's dive into the lesson right away. Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting lesson on how to excel in the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, also known as WASSCE. Today, we will be discussing top tips and tricks for WASSCE questions. We will walk you through some practical strategies for using past WASSCE English questions to help you perform at your best. This is English Classes Online, and I am your host, Benjamin. Let's dive right in. We are going to specifically solve WASSCE June 2016 English Language 2 objective test questions, and we will specifically look at section 5, which of course is from question 41 to 70. Quite a number of questions. So this is really a very ample opportunity for you to learn a lot of top tips and tricks, that will enable you to actually score high in this exam. The instruction is as follows. From the words or group of words lettered A to D, choose the word or group of words that best completes each of the following sentences. Let's begin with question number 41. You like ice cream? Blank? Question mark. Option A, didn't you? B, did you? C, isn't it? And D, don't you? Of course, if you are familiar with tag questions or question tags, you will immediately understand that the correct option is D, don't you? But then I will need to explain to you why it is option D. This has to do with the rules for tag questions. First of all, one of the rules for tag questions states that a positive statement is followed by a negative tag. So when you look at the statement, you like ice cream, this is a positive statement. And so what should follow is a negative tag question. And that is why it is don't you. Okay, don't you is negative. You like ice cream is positive. So it is positive, negative. Okay. Then the second rule states that the tense of the verb in the statement must agree with the tense of the verb in the tag question. So you like ice cream is in the present tense. So it will be wrong to say didn't you, because didn't you is in the past tense, did you is in the past tense. So those ones are eliminated by virtue of this second rule that states that the tense of the verb in the statement must agree with the tense of the verb in the tag question. So since we have the present tense in the statement, we must also have present tense in the tag, and that is why D is the correct option, don't you? Okay, so having said that, let's now move on to the next question, which is question number 42. I didn't tell my parents about the trip because they would be dash or blank themselves with worry. So something is needed to fill in this gap. Option A, at. Can we say they will be at themselves? B, upon. Can we say they would be upon themselves? C, within. Can we say they will be within themselves? D, beside. Can we say they would be beside themselves? Absolutely. So option D is correct. That's the answer, beside. And then let's look at the reason why it is, beside. It's a kind of idiom. This has to do with idiom. To be beside yourself is to be overwhelmed. They would be beside themselves with worry means they would be overwhelmed with worry. That's exactly why D is the correct option. This brings us to question 43. We arrive just dash time for the formal opening. We arrive just, then blank space, time for the formal opening. Option A, in. B, after. C, before. D, at. We arrive just in time. Of course, even with the rule of intuition, you will understand that in is the correct option. But the grammatical explanation is as follows. We are dealing with prepositions of time here. And so in time, the preposition in, you know, uh, is the appropriate one, in time. And this means before it is too late. We arrived just in time for the formal opening. This means we arrived just before it was too late for the formal opening. Yeah, now you may be asking, what of on time? What's the difference between in time and on time? This is there's a slight difference there. On time means at the scheduled or at the correct time, at the agreed time. Okay, so that is on time. When you arrive on time, you arrive at the previously agreed time. But when you say in just in time, for something, for an event, then it is just before it is late for that particular event. So that's the difference. Question 44. She claims dash or blank space, someone jump over the fence. She claims blank space, someone jump over the fence. Option A, seen. Can we say she claims seen? B, she claims to have seen. C, she claimed having seen. D, she claims to be seen. The correct option, of course, is B, she claims to have seen. And the explanation is quite simple. This has to do with the correct use of verbs. You can claim that something happened or that you saw it happen. That is one way of using claim. She claimed that she saw. You can reconstruct it in that way. Then alternatively, just as we have in this particular question, you can claim to have seen it happen. So it is correct to say she claims to have seen someone jump over the fence. So that is exactly how to use the tenses correctly. Okay. Question 45. Kofi says he's better at physics. Kofi says he's better at physics, dash or blank space. A, as I am. Can you say Kofi is better as I am? Doesn't sound grammatically correct. B, than I am. C, as me. And D, than I do. Of course, when you say better, what follows is than. So B is the appropriate option. Kofi says he's better at physics. than I am. And of course, the grammatical explanation is, when you are making comparison, better is always followed by than, not better as, but better at, better than. Okay, that's one aspect of the grammatical principle there. Then we can use the elimination methods. As I am in A, doesn't tally, as me in C, and than I do in D are all incorrect. So we cannot eliminate all of them using the elimination method. And then what we have is, than I am in B. Okay, so that is exactly the way to tackle this type of question. Question number 46. Her shoes are made dash genuine leather. This is a test of the correct preposition. A, on, B, of, C, with, D, by. The correct option is A, is B, of. Her shoes are made of genuine leather. And I want to give you the grammatical explanation. This deals with use of prepositions. Made of, you may hear something is made of something, or made with something, or made by something. There are differences. So the first one, as in the case we have, her shoes are made of genuine leather, is correct, because we are talking about the basic material or the qualities that the shoes are made of. So you use made of when you are purely talking about the 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 basic material that have been used to make that particular thing. Now, what or if you are talking of made with, when can we use made with? Made with is used to talk about the ingredients of food or drink. For example, you can say this dish is made with herbs. Is made with herbs. All right. Made by simply refers to either the method or the process of doing something, or the maker, made by. So this type of, for example, this type of cake is made by hand, not by machine. This is referring to the method. But when you say this cake is made by Cadbury, or the bag is made by a local company, then you are referring to the maker, the person who made it. Okay, so those are the ways of using those prepositions. Then question number 47. Even after the explanation, I was none the blank space or dash. A, wiser, B, wise, C, wisest, and D, worse. The answer is A, wiser. Even after the explanation, I was none the wiser. And the explanation is, the use of none with a comparative to mean not at all. Even after the explanation, I was none the wiser. That means I was not at all wiser. Okay, so that is exactly, I was none the wiser means I was not at all wiser even after the explanation. Number 48, I spoke to Mary and Peter on the issue, but dash or blank space of them took my advice. A, all, B, neither, C, either, D, each. Well, the correct thing is B, neither of them took my advice. And this has to do with the use of correlatives. Neither is used to refer to two persons when you are saying none of the two. Okay, all is used to refer to many persons or things, while either is used to refer to two persons when you are saying one of them did something or so. Then each can be used to refer to a number of persons or things when you are saying every one of them. So the correct thing here is I spoke to Mary and Peter on the issue, but neither of them took my advice, because you are referring to two persons, okay? That's the correct correlative to refer to two persons. 49, we need to dash for lost time. We need to blank space for lost time. Okay, A, make in, can we say we need to make in? Is strange, isn't it? B, make by. C, make up. D, make true. The correct option is C, make up. When you make up for lost time, it means that you do something faster in order to compensate for not having done it quickly enough before. When you make up for something, you compensate for what you were unable to do before. Question number 50. Everyone wants to be the dash favorite. Everyone wants to be the blank space favorite. A, school principal. B, school's principals. C, school principals. D, school's principal. Of course, here we are dealing with the use of possessive nouns. Everyone wants to be the school principal's favorite, means that they want, you know, they want to be the favorite of the school principal. So in this case, we are really dealing with uh, you know the possessive noun. So everyone wants to be the school principal's favorite. That means everyone wants to be the favorite of the school principal. Okay, so that's the correct option. 51. The haircut makes him dash in the crowd. A, stand out. B, stand tall. C, standing. And D, stand on. The correct option is stand out. Okay. Now, the use of phrasal verbs. The phrasal verb stand out here means to be easily noticeable in the crowd. The haircut makes him easily noticeable in the crowd. So don't forget that a phrasal verb is, a group of words made up of a verb and either a preposition, a prepositional, or an adverbial particle, if you like. So stand is a verb and out here is an adverbial particle. So that is a phrasal verb, and every phrasal verb represents a given verb, a word. So stand out here means to be easily noticeable. Okay, the haircut makes him noticeable in the crowd. Okay, and here it is used to describe how the man looks, how noticeable he is in the crowd. 52. The deal dash because we could not get enough money to finance it. A, fell up. B, fell out. C, fell in. And D, fell through. D is the correct option. The deal fell through because we could not get enough money to finance it. What does it mean when something fell through? Okay, this is another phrasal verb. To fail through here means failed or came to nothing, when something didn't succeed. So the deal fell through means that the deal failed. It didn't work out. Okay. 53. dash or blank space in this town for many years, I can tell you a lot about its people. A, from living, can we say from living in this town? B, to have lived. C, having lived. D, in living. The correct option is C, having lived in this town for many years. I can tell you a lot about its people. So here we are dealing with the use of participle or participial phrases. A participle phrase is used to give more detail and description to a noun or pronoun. So having lived in this town for many years, I, okay, that actually is used to give more information about the speaker, I, and why he or she can tell you a lot about the people of this town. So that is the function of participle phrases. 54. I don't believe that any dash person would do such a thing. A, matured. B, mature. C, maturing. And D, matures. The correct option, of course, is B, mature. Now, what's the difference between mature and matured? Because a lot of people, you know, confuse one for the other. Now, here we are dealing with an adjective on one hand and a verb on the other hand. A mature person is a sensible person, you know. So it's like saying, I don't believe that any sensible person would do such a thing. Okay, so the word mature is used as an adjective here to describe the noun person. So you say that someone is mature to describe his or her current quality. But you can also say someone has matured if you want to talk about the process or the growth that the person has undergone. Okay, so that is exactly the way it can be used. 55. The coach as well as the players dash giving fantastic gifts last month. A, was. B, were. C, are. And D, is. Now here we are looking at the rule of concord. Normally, if a subject is singular, we use a singular verb. And if the subject is plural, then we use the plural form of the verb. That is normally the first rule of concord. But in many cases, having as well as after the subject does not make the subject plural. So in this case, the coach, we notice the comma there, as well as the players, notice another comma that actually separates the expression as well as the players, from the actual from the rest of the sentence. And so this shows us that this is just an afterthought. The interpretation should be the coach was giving fantastic gifts last month. By the way, his players were also giving fantastic gifts. So now, anytime you have a singular subject, and then as well as introduces what seems to be another subject, whether it is singular or plural, all you need to take note of is the first subject, and this is what should determine the verb. So because the coach here is a singular verb and we are talking of last month, which by the way is a past event, so A is correct, okay? Because here we are actually dealing with a past tense. So the coach as well as the players was giving fantastic gifts last month. So when you understand this what we call accompaniment, you know, something accompanying another, if for instance I attended a seminar and I was accompanied by my wife. So the focus is on I attended the seminar, okay? Then my wife was only there to accompany me. So in such a statement, the focus is on the main subject, and that is why we are picking option A here. Question 56. If he dash here, he will do it for free. A is, B where, C was, and D will be. Of course, the right option is B where. This may seem to be unlikely, but here we're dealing with the concept, grammatical concept known as the subjunctive mood. The subjunctive mood expresses wishes, suggestions, demands, or desires in a sentence with usually two clauses, with a verb such as wish or suggest or demand, and in one clause, of course, in one clause, and a verb in the other subjunctive mood. So in the sentence, I wish, you know, uh, for example, if you say, I wish I were the governor, the word were is in the subjunctive mood. And that is similar here. If he were here, he would do it for free. If he were, you know. So this is the subjunctive mood, okay? This is the standard usage. Some people might say if he was here. Of course, this can be used in informal situations. But when you are talking of formal or standard usage, then the correct option is B. If he were here, he would do it for free. And this brings us to question 57. Had she told me dash you? A, of course, there is an omission here. The word I dash you. Okay, so let's take note of that. Had she told me I dash you? Can you say I will have stopped you? Um, or I would have stopped. B, which is B, or C, I would stop, or D, I must have stopped. Then, of course, the option B is correct. Had she told me, I would have stopped you. Now, this has to do with what we call conditional sentences. Conditional sentences describe the result of a certain condition. The if clause tells you the condition. For example, if you study hard, or if you work hard, you will succeed, or you will pass your exam. So we have four types of conditionals. We have the zero conditional, the first, second, and third conditionals. Now, what type of conditional is had she told me, I would have stopped you? This is what we call the third conditional, which of course uh, is used to explain that the present circumstance would have been different if something else had happened in the past, and this is always a hypothetical situation. Now, question number 58. Since his transfer to Banjul, my brother dash our hometown. A had not been visiting, B did not visit, C has not visited, and D had not visited. The correct option, of course, is C, has not visited. Now, here we are actually dealing with the correct use of tenses, specifically the present perfect. And whenever you have the conjunction since, uh, since his transfer to Banjul, my brother has not visited our hometown. When the conjunction since is used in the subordinate clause in this way, since his transfer to Banjul, the main clause requires the present perfect tense. And you can also find this in the principle of sequence of tenses. If you watch a video I uploaded on sequence of tenses, you will get some more explanation about why this is used in this way. Okay, so that's the way it is done. So the correct option is, since he's transferred to Banjul, my brother has not visited our hometown. And this brings us to question number 59. The minister dash agriculture visited our school today. A, to, can you say minister to agriculture? B, on, C, of, and D, in. Of course, the correct option is C, on. Of, please. The Minister of Agriculture visited our school today. So here we're dealing with preposition. And when you look at a preposition, it's always a word used to indicate relationship. There's a relationship between the minister and agriculture, and then the preposition of is used, to indicate that. And so this preposition of is showing us both the is showing us the relationship as well as the position, okay, in that particular expression. So question number 60. I was barely halfway home when darkness dash. A, set out. B, set in. C, set off. D, set off. The correct option is B, set in. When something sets in, it means that it begins, okay? To set in is a verb, and of course, set in is a phrasal verb. So set in simply means to begin. So when something, usually something negative or unpleasant, sets in, it begins and is likely, to continue in a serious way. So I was barely halfway home when darkness set in means that darkness began at that point. Okay. Question number 61. You must obtain a degree dash medicine to be a doctor. A, on. B, for. C, of, and D, in. Can you say a degree on medicine? Certainly not. The correct option is D, in. A degree in medicine. Okay, a degree in medicine. So that is the way it is. 62. We will buy more, but for now, let's just dash with what we have. A, make up. B, make do. C, make away. D, make out. The correct option is B, make do. Okay, when you make do with what you have, it means you manage it. That is also a phrasal verb, and this is a phrasal verb with two particles. The verb is make, and then another make do with. Okay, so it simply means to manage something that is inadequate. 63. They told her that we would solve the problem dash. A, herself. B, himself. C, themselves. D, ourselves. They told her that we would solve the problem ourselves. The correct option is D. Here we are dealing with, reflexive pronoun, especially when it is used for emphasis, that we will solve the problem ourselves. Question number 64. The sport I like dash is swimming. A, better. B, much. C, most. D, more. The correct option is C, and that is most. And the explanation is that we are dealing with the use of superlatives, with verbs, the word most here. So the sport I like most is swimming. Most is a superlative form here. If you are comparing two things, you can say between swimming and jumping, the one I like more is swimming, or I like swimming more. But if you are trying to compare among three or more things, then of course the superlative form is necessary, and that is most. Okay, the sport I like most is swimming. 65. If you insist that you are not a tailor, dash are you? Of course, this comma may not be necessary. Well, yes, the last comma is not necessary. Okay, the other comma is acceptable. Okay. Option A, whom. B, which. C, what. D, who. The correct option is D, who. If you insist that you are not a tailor, who are you? Okay, so here we are dealing with interrogative pronouns. Okay, interrogative pronouns. If you take your mind back to when you learned about pronouns, you know that an interrogative pronoun is a pronoun which is used to make or which is used in asking questions or make it easy for you to ask questions. There are about 5 of them, and each of them is used to ask a specific question. you know uh, you can use who or whom to refer only to people. Others can be used to refer to objects or people, and so you can use which or uh, or what. Okay, but in this context, because you are referring to a person, it is who. If you insist that you are not a tailor, who are you? So now question number 56. If your grades don't improve, I shall have no option dash to move you to another school. Option A, than. B, except. C, besides. And D, but. The correct option is D, and that is but, because here we are dealing with the use of conjunction. I shall have no option but to move you to another school. In this expression, but is used to mean except. No other option except, moving you to another school. Now, some people tend to use than, but this is not correct in this context. Than is used to make comparison. For example, you can say John is better than Dan. When you are making comparison, you can use than. Okay, but when you are talking of option or choice, then you use but. I shall have no option, or I shall have no choice but to move you to another school. That's the way it is used. And then question number 67. I dash rather he did not stay. A, could. B, should. C, will. And D, would. I would rather is correct. So D is the answer. I would rather he did not stay. I would rather he did not stay. Okay, we are dealing with the use of modal verbs here. I would rather he did not stay means I prefer such a situation. So it is used in expressing preferences. Sometimes you can use it to compare two situations and state the one you prefer. For example, you can say, I would rather go home than spend the night in this noisy place. Okay, but when you are using a different subject, I would rather he did not stay. This is another type of grammatical construction. Okay, and this brings us to question number 68. Your submission is dash: A, neither here nor there; B, either here or there; C, either there nor here; and D, neither there nor here. So if you use the rule of intuition, you will discover that A is correct. Neither here nor there. This is a common expression. And what actually does it mean? You know, this is a correlative. Neither usually goes with nor. You can either say neither nor, either or. Okay, so the phrase neither here nor there, it simply means it's of no importance. Okay, it means it's really not important. Your submission is of no importance whether you submit or not. Okay, so that is the correct interpretation. 69. Every one of the boys dash excited about the picnic. A, was seeming; B is seeming; C, seem; and D, seems. Every one of the boys seems excited. So D is the correct option. And here we're dealing with the use of what we can call a mental verb. And another thing that we are dealing with here also is the rule of concord. The verb seem is not used in the progressive sense. So you cannot say every one of the boys is seeming excited. No, you cannot you cannot use this kind of verb with ing. It is similar to seeing. When you say I am seeing you, it is incorrect. I see you or I can see you. Even when you say I am hearing you, these are all mental verbs. They are not used in the progressive sense. Now, the second thing to consider here is the rule of concord. Okay, when you are dealing with one of, okay, then every one of refers to one person among the boys. So it is a singular subject and must take a singular verb. And that is why we use seems. Every one of the boys seems excited about the picnic. This brings us to the last but not the least question, and that is question number 70. You dash be ashamed of yourself for saying such a thing before the principal. A, will; B, should; C, might; and D, shall. The correct option is B. You should be ashamed of yourself. So here we are dealing with the use of modal verbs, and should is often used for expressing moral obligation or necessity. So you should be ashamed of yourself for saying such a thing before the principal is an expression you use to talk about what is morally right to do in such a given situation. Okay. Such a modal verb, excuse me, can also be used in giving a piece of advice. For example, you can say you should apologize to the principal for saying such a thing in his presence. Okay, and that is actually that brings us to the end of today's video. We have actually been dealing with top tips and tricks for WASSCE English questions, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned the various grammatical explanations, the various grammatical principles or concepts that we discussed, because for you to score high in this kind of exam, you need to have a very rich grammar. You know, you need to know the rules that govern the use of the English language, how words and phrases combine or are arranged to form a sentence. Okay, there are rules that govern the arrangement of words within the sentence structure. And we have learned quite a number of these rules. So I look forward to seeing you in the next class.
Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you.